I would like to show you the process I went through in making of this design. I use Photoshop and Wacom Cintiq to do most of my design work. I find this tool like a great asset. It's one of the greatest assets I have. It is one of the best investments I have ever made. In terms of designing, I was very sure about one thing, that I want to use Lord Buddha. I started searching online for Buddha images. I found few. I tried few combinations, having the temple over the Buddha head, because that was the initial design brief from him, as you saw before. What I like about my designs is I play with high contrast, especially on black and gray designs. I love the balance of empty spaces opposed to the dark shadows. I personally think that empty spaces plays a very important role in how balanced the design will be. And I started with this brief, but I was not able to connect with the creation, with the design. Somehow I felt like I was just finishing a job, or rather I was overdoing the design work. And I wanted that click, that this is it. And it didn't happen. I created few. I just showed you one over here, but I've worked on few drafts, and nothing synced with what I had in mind. So I took a break for a day and I came back on it. I started fresh completely. Again, I started looking for the Lord Buddha images, and I found one in my phone, luckily. So while traveling, I click pictures, I do photography with iPhone. And I found one image which just synced with me, which thought this is the right image. So what I did is I started developing the design around that image. I kept the contrast high. I created a symmetry out of the portrait, because what I have clicked has a little angle. So I wanted the symmetrical face, symmetrical portrait of Buddha. I wanted to make the eyes as the focal point. So I started developing the design from there. I believe the best art is the one where the observer's eyes travel from one point to another as the creator planned for it. So the design has to let your eyes flow from one part to another. It has to have a natural flow to it. And that is what I was trying to do, and that is what I achieved by the end of the designing process. So let me take you through the details of the design. I added a perspective around the head to create a depth. So have more of a depth, more of a 3D look to the artwork. I wanted to add something which creates that. And the perspectives are, the lines, anything in perspective looks good. And the perspective is going in the dark, in the infinity of the darkness. And there is this face at the front which is quite bright, so it is creating that depth. The halo syncs with the line below his neck. So if you see the curvature of the halo and the lines, they kind of sync with each other. The little carving texture, what you see at the bottom of the piece, complements the carving at the on the perspective part. If you take a closer look at the design, the final design, it's the entrance of the temple. So you walk inside through the steps. It's like walking in, going towards the awakening like Lord Buddha. This is not just random design. This kind of execution requires love and passion for what you do. You should love designing. You should love serving people with best of the designs. In fact, I'm not the one who designed this from scratch. Not even my idea. I got all the references from everyone's work out there, right? And the design request is from client. So nothing has been created by me as such, but I brought all these pieces together and gave it a life, like creating music. You use available material which has its own sound and you bring various sounds together to create a beautiful symphony. By the end of the design, I was very sure that he will love this design, and guess what? He just fell in love with it. He just went crazy about it and he liked it so much there was not a single change in the design.